Hey everyone, welcome to our football channel. We always update the latest hot news in football, interesting stories about players, clubs, and all the daily football movements. If you find the video interesting or enjoyable, please give us a like or subscribe. Thank you. Now, let's get started with the content of today's video.
What's wrong with Manchester City this season? The blue half of Manchester seems to be facing certain obstacles in their journey to defend their throne. It's not too difficult to notice that the citizens' defence has become less secure than ever. Only 20 rounds have passed, but Pep Guardiola and his team have conceded 23 goals. So why is Manchester City so bad at defending this year? Today, we will talk about that. After 20 rounds played, Manchester City has managed to keep clean sheet in only 5 matches. In the remaining matches, more or less, the teams have also encountered certain issues in their defensive line. Especially in the 4 consecutive matches, they have not tasted the sweetness of victory. They have conceded 9 goals, a figure that is unacceptable for the reigning champions of the Premier League. Pep Guardiola is known as a coach who possesses an attractive attacking football philosophy. Every team he has managed possesses an extremely formidable attacking force: Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and currently Manchester City. All 3 clubs have an attacking force like a storm and can penetrate through any opponent's defensive line. However, to sustain that style of play, he always advocates building his team on a solid defensive foundation. Since he took charge of Barcelona in 2008, over 14 seasons have passed. Guardiola's squad has only failed to achieve the best defensive record in the league 3 times. The coach, hailing from Catalonia, is a disciple of Johan Cruyff. The Dutch legend had a famous saying that if you have the ball, the opponent cannot score. And despite all the beautiful aspects of football that he could build, Pep is always obsessed with controlling the game and forcing the opponent to play according to his style. For him, controlling the ball is a mandatory priority before thinking about anything else. But this philosophy is showing signs of instability in the current season. Manchester City is still playing well, but it cannot be said that they have complete control of the game. His team still demonstrates an attractive attacking style of play, but it seems the whole team is neglecting the defensive aspect. In a streak of 3 consecutive matches against teams from the Big 6, Manchester City conceded 4 goals against Chelsea, 3 against Tottenham, and 1 against Liverpool. This number is equal to the total goals conceded in the first 11 matches of the previous season. So, what is happening with Manchester City? Firstly, we have to talk about the importance of Ilkay Gundogan in Man City's style of play. The 33-year-old player can be considered as a perfect midfielder. He can dictate and control the tempo of the game with precise touches and passes. At the same time, when the team struggles with scoring, he also has the ability to contribute important goals. For example, in the FA Cup final last season against Manchester United, Gundogan was the one who scored 2 goals to help Man City become the champion. So, the German player's move to Barcelona in the last summer transfer window has left Manchester City with a significant issue that they have been unable to resolve. Although the team's management brought in Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea and Matheus Nunes from Wolverhampton, but half of the season has passed and both have not proven much as they have not adapted to the style of play that Pep has built. Additionally, John Stones' long-term injury has significantly increased the workload and responsibility on Rodri's shoulders. In general, the Spanish midfielder still manages to fulfill his assigned duties well, but that has also become a double-edged sword for Pep Guardiola. Because if Rodri cannot be on the field for some reason, Pep Guardiola's tactical system and the team's operation almost become disoriented. He is truly crucial to the playing style of the citizens. All 3 losses of Man City in the Premier League so far have been matches where Manchester City lacked Rodri. In addition, there is the injury of John Stones, the one whom Pep has pulled up to play in the defensive midfield position alongside Rodri. His prolonged absence has made Pep's task of personnel arrangement challenging. Guardiola decided to experiment with Manuel Akanji in a new role. In fact, the Swiss player performed quite well despite playing out of position, especially in the match against Liverpool. Akanji and Rodri almost took control of the central midfield, but in the end, they still couldn't secure a win against the Red Devils. Despite the 28-year-old midfielder playing well in the defensive midfield role, it's clear that his abilities are much more limited compared to John Stone. An example is the match against Tottenham. Akanji is one of the players who performed poorly in the Manchester City lineup. Next is the long-term absence of maestro Kevin De Bruyne due to an injury since the beginning of the season. It may sound unrelated because the Belgian midfielder is known for his attacking prowess. So, how does De Bruyne's absence relate to Manchester City's defensive capabilities? In reality, it does, because De Bruyne doesn't just play the role of a goal, scorer or a playmaker, he also acts as the focal point in the midfield. Last season, the Belgian player ranked second at the club in passing accuracy and creating key passes, while he also ranked third in the number of passes received from teammates. This indicates that his influence on Manchester City's overall playing style is significant. Furthermore, if you believe in the saying that the best defence is a good offence, the long-term absence of De Bruyne further explains the defensive issues for the Citizen. Since arriving at the Etihad Stadium in 2015, De Bruyne has scored a total of 97 goals and provided 155 assists. Last season, he had an explosive campaign with 10 goals and 31 assists. Until now, people still regret that if the Belgian midfielder had played in the 3 matches against Chelsea, Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City might not have experienced those 3 disappointing draws. And lastly, it's the ability of goalkeeper Edison Moraes to keep a clean sheet. The Brazilian goalkeeper is known for his excellent footwork, but his shot, stopping and reflex abilities have never been highly rated. But Pep doesn't demand that from a goalkeeper, which helps Edison not become the focal point of criticism every time Manchester City defends poorly. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Citizens have kept a clean sheet in only 5 matches since the start of the season. If we blame their defence for not performing well, we also have to consider Edison in some situations where he could do better. For example, the equalising header by Thiago Silva in the match between Chelsea and Manchester City. The 30-year-old goalkeeper reacted relatively slowly, resulting in his team conceding a goal. Compared to previous seasons, the current season can be considered a period where Man City's defence is performing poorly, even though their attack is still playing quite well, and the team is not too far behind in the race for the championship. But they cannot win the EPL title if they keep conceding with such a leaky defence. They need to improve. And Pep Guardiola knows what to do. Along with the strong return of Kevin De Bruyne, Manchester City fans believe that Pep's team will sweep aside all opponents and successfully defend the EPL Championship.